Hello, I'm Dan Robinson, and today we're going to be talking about the Crime Report Management System. This is a Android app that we developed because crime levels are fairly high, and reporting crime is a lot easier now that we have the technology to do so in a much quicker fashion. So as you can see, this app will allow us to report crimes in real time, and this will be stored on a database. And this will also allow police to respond to crimes in a little bit quicker fashion because they'll be able to see a report come in and send an officer that's in the area to that location. So this also is kind of twofold. So it helps bring police officers to the crime location a little bit quicker, and it also helps other people who are in the area be aware of these crimes that are happening, and they can see that in real time. So, of course, again, the aim of the product was to develop an application for crime management and to be able to have that accessible by both law enforcement officials and people as well. And then also the second fold of it is to register reports in a timely fashion, and this would be all done online. So as you can see, this is the general architecture of our application. We have a login activity, and it also accepts Facebook login, which uses, of course, the Facebook API. After login, it goes to the landing screen, and from there you can choose between settings, form, Google Maps, and calendar. So the Google Maps is actually attached to attached to our database, our IBM database, and it uses also uses the Google geocoding API as well in order to get the latitude and longitude for a specific crime report. And you can also fill out a form to report a crime and take a picture with the camera, and this does the same thing with the geocoding as well, going into the mobile database. This is just a class diagram of some of our activities. As you can see, again, the login activity has your typical on create, on resume activities. These are all pretty typical for normal activities. Pause, destroy. There's nothing really too interesting about that one. The crime map has a get color method, and this is actually typically used for this is what we use to color code our events based on severity, and we do this by parsing through the data and or the description rather, and finding certain keywords and the severity is sort of subjective in the sense in that we're not necessarily, there's no, it's based on essentially how you would, it's based on how you would rate severity when you're driving around. So this is our metric essentially, and of course it has post execute for the HTTP protocols. And the landing screen, location, all of these other activities, there's nothing too exciting about them, so I'm not going to spend lots of time on it. Technologies used, of course, Google Maps API, Google Geocoding API, Facebook Login API, IBM Bluemix Mobile Data, the Calendar API, this is a built-in Android calendar. REST web services, so these are for retrieving, these are our post and our get methods that we're using with the IBM mobile database, and also Google geocoding requires that as well. And now I'll be showing you guys a demo of our product. Okay, today we're going to be showing a demo of the crime report management system. So as you can see, this is our login screen where you can enter your username and password, and then log in with Facebook. Let's go ahead and log in here. So on here we have our Google Maps with all the crimes on it. We have a calendar API and also the form data, which we use to submit a new crime. So on here, if you open up the calendar, you can create a new calendar event for that. So once you create a new event, you just enter all the information. That's that. So the Google Map, the crime map, this is data that comes from our IBM database, and it's also using the Google Geocoder API as well. It takes a little bit, just a second to populate the map because it's doing two different HTTP calls there. So As you can see, they're color coded by severity, so green are the least severe ones, so we have forged checks, that's not really that severe. Yellow is a little bit more severe, so assault. Orange, the only thing that's orange are auto thefts, and that way you can easily spot auto thefts if you're driving. You know which areas to avoid parking in. And then red are typically the more dangerous crimes, so like rape, murder, armed robbery, so that would be something involving a weapon. You want to stay away from those as much as possible. And right now we have about 25 items on here. We have about 1,000 on our database, and for the demo, I chose to do 25. Now going on to the form, so you can see you enter your name, and you choose the type of crime. Auto-related crimes are the first item on there, simply because I feel like those are the most important for this app in particular, but there's a drop down of some of the other ones. You can add a photo to this as well, so it will open up the camera right here. You can take a picture, and it will ask me to save here. Oops, save, and oops. And then you can also submit the form, and that's when it would go to our database. Alright, thank you guys for... So for future work, what we plan on doing is having a safest route prediction. So what this would do is it would take the current crimes in the area, and it would weight them based on severity, what we think is severe, based on our metric that we talked about earlier. And so it would avoid heavier crimes like murder or rape and that sort of thing, or auto theft is another one, very applicable for drivers. And it would not weight the petty thefts and impersonations as highly. So what it would try to do is get you from point A to point B in the quickest route, but also the safest route. So you're not adding very much time onto your journey, but you're also going to be safe on your journey. So two very important things. Push notifications, this would just alert other users of brand new crime reports. So initially, crime, for most crimes, it would be listed as pending. So a pending robbery or a pending assault. This is because they need time to investigate the crime, the police do, and determine what actually occurred there. But for the ones like an auto accident, that will be posted immediately as an auto accident, because the only investigation needed really is to determine who would be at fault there, which we don't really care about who's at fault. We just care that we know what type of crime it is. And then also a discussion forum in order to have a little bit more of a social media aspect to reporting these crimes and discussing them, and maybe getting a little bit more information out of the person who reported the crime. Thank you guys for watching our video.